Welcome back to Agency Ascent, a podcast where we talk about what it really takes to build an agency, scale successful independence, and become hopefully what you want in the insurance field. Today, we have an exciting topic, which is actually our MGA, the AccessPlus model, and what it does, what it allows our members to do and grow and scale in their insurance journey. With me, as always, is Mr. Chris Sterlacci, our managing partner, and our regional vice president, Jessica McBurney.
Hello.
And just for our listeners, who are you?
If you don't know me by now, you're not one of the two people that
You don't religiously know our narration.
You can tell.
Voice.
Well, the fact is that we record this new every day, so
Yeah.
that's what it's authentic.
Then I am Chad.
For the Chad.
Just Chad.
That might need to be a meme actually in itself, right there.
No, but actually today it is, it's nice having kind of a lighter start, because this is actually one of the coolest things. It's probably the most understated value in what we do.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
In the MGA. So for people that are new to insurance or new to us or just things in general, Jessica, high level, AccessPlus, what is it?
So we have this chicken and egg conversation a lot when people are looking for appointments. If you don't have any appointments, you need production to get appointments, but you need an appointment to have production. And so it's a slippery slope of how can I build a track record? How can I get access to a product in order to show that I can be appointed directly with this carrier to then sell the product? So our internal MGA, which stands for Managing General Agency, is essentially Comerica Agency Alliance's codes. So we have specific codes with our strategic partner carriers and beyond, and we have the opportunity to bring on new agencies that have the ability to write through our team, essentially, write through our codes. And so this gives them the ability to operate in this sandbox type environment where they can start writing business. And once they get to a good clip of business with carriers, we have a team that advocates for them to be able to get the direct appointments, but we have the evidentiary support built into our model to support why we're advocating for that agency to get a direct contract. Yeah. So the difference is that we're not a complete instant access model where somebody's going to say, hey, sign up with us today and you're quoting this afternoon. Here's some logins. You get some random carriers that are probably not.
Well, not yet.
All the standard ones.
Not yet. We are developing that.
True, but what I think that's actually a major advantage for us though right now too, and how we built it, because we actually have licensed professionals that are in our AccessPlus that help with some of the frontline underwriting, but this has helped us to maintain profitable carrier relationships through time.
Well, and it goes with, huge. Certain carriers will say, oh, I have this capacity, or I can write this, and this. And as an agent that's coming in, not have ever represented that carrier, they're sitting there going like, well, what are you actually writing though? And what does actually make sense from your product appetite guide, or, what's the likelihood of me getting a higher than a 5% close rate with that particular risk?
Right. So, and that's one of the biggest advantages for somebody that is used to being production in a captive model, right? Where they have the one. Yeah. And so how do they get through that kid and candy store to actually narrow down what really works for them and the business that they're doing?
Yes.
One, you don't have options. You're only ever going to write the one.
Yeah, and if you go back historically, in order to get a traveler's appointment or a nationwide, you had to write X amount of production with them through a different code that you did not own, and that's how you proved it. And so I think even today, you go to any of these carriers, and you still have to have you have to show that, hey, I've done X amount of production with you.
And what's that magic number typically?
Well, so it varies by carrier, by year, by territory, but traditionally it's 250,000 in production. So I need to have written 250,000 in production for your company without ever having access to your company. And how do I accomplish that? Your true chicken before the egg situation occurred. And what SIAA brilliantly came up with was this managing general agency, where we actually worked with the carriers and said, hey, I know you have an appetite to grow, to bring on agents. we'll help and encourage them and make certain that the business they're writing is within your appetite and is ultimately profitable, long-term, and beneficial for all parties. But we did something unique that other MGAs traditionally don't. We opened those doors. We really helped that agent and that carrier come to more of like a marriage, to where we say, hey, look, this guy has written X amount of production, has killed it. Like, you need to look at this person. They're going to slam all of your guidelines and requirements. And so they would go, oh, okay. And so they literally have a partner with us to basically open that up and move that production and that contract conversation further faster.
And I think one of the key differentiators between the way we operate and the way others do is the word that Jessica used, which is advocate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's not only do you have that pathway, but you truly have an advocate, that because we're not built to write long-term business through AccessPlus.
I don't think we're looking to be. We're not inherently looking for that to be a core.
No, I mean, it's there to supplement. Like, contractually, we're required to offer it, but our goal is not to build that to be an 800-pound. But
we're not building a giant house book in there.
No.
And I think there's a lot of other groups, and most of them have been started after SIA, just because we know the longevity in the space has allowed us to create these systems that a lot of other groups don't have the flexibility or the ability at all to create. But a lot of other groups, they are just playing on a massive MGA. So
they're building their brand image, not yours.
Right. And they have people that are coming in and they get instant access to these codes. But what people don't always recognize is, if they aren't giving you a direct path, a direct advocacy path on how to get to a direct contract that has your agency name on it, they're probably never going to work on advocating to get that direct appointment, because their whole model is, you build underneath us, we control it. If you go to leave, we're going to retain the business, because that's how our model operates. You can leave, but you just can't take the business with you. You can keep writing under us and we'll take a split. And we're not set up that way. We're truly set up to help somebody be able to build independently.
And traditionally, most of our clients have come over from a captive environment. They've already, this isn't a shot at our captive brethren, but they've already been screwed over once. They said they were told that they own their own destiny. They were told that they own their book, and then, push comes to shove, they don't. And so they're not looking to get out of one frying pan into another. Yeah. So that's why, we're identifying the entrepreneurs that we want to work with and say, no. You're not building our brand image. You're building your image. This is your company. We don't want to hold you into this MGA. It's here as an advocation tool. But the goal is for all of this business to be in your code and your relationship.
Absolutely. And that's why, you mentioned licensed professionals that are there supporting them. That's why their titles are mentors.
They're not just quoters.
Right. They're mentors. They're there to teach.
Yeah.
Teach what those appetites are. Teach how to approach the underwriters. Teach how to close the business for those specific carriers. Right. So once they hit those thresholds, they take that book out and into their own code.
That's the differentiator, or is that a word?
Yeah, differentiator.
Differentiator?
I just said it a little different.
I don't know if I'm making up words as we go, but that is the uniqueness. I like that better. Uniqueness of it is that book is going with you.
Right.
So if you put 100,000 in that code, or 50,000, whatever it is, as soon as you get that direct contract, we're moving that with you.
Mm-hmm. And even if somebody leaves, let's say, which this I don't think happens often, if at all, but if somebody left and they only had MGA business,
that's
we
still their business.
Still have a provision that says you have 15 months to move that out. So we're giving you the runway to figure out how to move it, and you still can. So we're even going to help you figure out how you're going to manage your next step. Which,
we're dealing with entrepreneurs. It's their book.
And I think that just goes back to how we operate fully, right? Is a lot of our agreement transparency goes into this component of things. Is even if for some reason you were to exit the network, we talk about what the divorce looks like before it happens. Yeah. And that's something that's really important too, because if another group is not telling you the steps on what to do with those things, it means they don't have them, or they don't have to, because they actually own it all, right? And I think that's a big conversation that we have a lot in the recruiting process is, well, why do you have this and somebody else doesn't? Because they own it, and they're never going to advocate that you wholly own it. That's they need you dependent on that forever. You hit
it on the nail, because I see this in the marketing against us a lot. It's like, oh, well, they have this huge exit fee. They have this, they have that. It's like, well, yeah, we have an exit fee because you own it. The others don't have an exit fee because you don't own it, and so they're planning on keeping your whole book. So that enrages me. But so I would rather deal with somebody on the front and say, this is how this, to your point, this is how this divorce is going to go. This is exactly what's going to happen. So they know before they ever enter into that arrangement, how it's going to play out.
Yeah. I was just having a conversation with this a few days ago with somebody that's coming in, and they're working with a InsurTech tech cluster, right, where they just kind of got access online and they're writing, and they're like, well, I've written a little bit of business. I think that would be able to come over. And I was like, okay, have you looked at your contract? Like, are you aware of how that system works? And they're like, no, but it's pretty small. And I said, okay, do you own it? Is it a direct appointment? And they were like, yeah. And the thing is that word is used so widely, right? So generally. And I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you get paid by each individual carrier throughout the month, or do you get one check from this group? And they said, well, I get one check from the group. And I said, okay, do you meet with reps? And they said, no, not really. And I said, so there's two things that just told you where the ownership lies.
Well, one more, if I can add.
Yeah,
please. The name of the agency when
on
the policy goes on the policy day.
That's great. Those are the three. If we were to take three things, folks, go back and look at your contracts today, because if you really want to know.
Wait, and the easiest one is actually there's the deck page.
Yeah,
the deck page is
my
huge.
agency name on it, or it's yours.
Mm-hmm. Right, and you see when you're writing through our MGA, you see Comerica Agency Alliance, right? But the difference is there's actual information in your agreement that constitutes how this plays,
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
The second you get that direct appointment, it goes.
And that's the other important distinction is the second you get that direct appointment, we don't get paid on anything. We don't even know what you're writing, right? It goes straight to you. And if
we know because they report it to us.
Well, yes,
and
but
financially,
right away.
Financially, they're rewarded by doing that because our partner carriers pay more.
Yes. 100%. But we still don't. We still expect them to report to us in an honor system and a partnership versus we're not getting paid and then paying them with a direct appointment.
Correct.
Right. And so I think that's a huge piece that goes into all of that.
So now with the mentors, right? Because we can talk about the contracts and the benefits and all those things. But at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest strengths that we bring to the table is actually our mentors, right? So we have Tammy over commercial lines.
Yep.
Courtney, who handles our entire offshore team.
Yep.
Plus personal lines. And then we have Sarah that's personal lines with a really big focus right now on high net worth.
Yeah.
Which are super important pieces.
Yes. So we're covering three major elements.
You can't forget Nikki with middle market and commercial, plus access to our certified risk managers and household.
Yeah, and Nikki's going to shoot me for not mentioning her.
Yeah, I know. I got you though.
Thank you. I appreciate you. No, Nick, and you're right, Nikki. On top of the middle market experience, she also is the trainer. She has the overall experience that brings it all together for us. But how is that different than the way maybe other people would hit access? Because you mentioned some people put just give you codes or give you logins.
A lot of them are just quoting. That's all they do is they just quote. They're not helping educate. They're not helping mentor. They're saying, hey, just pass me over the risk and I'll see if I got somebody that can write it. Yeah. That doesn't do anything. Look, if I want purely that relationship, you get a contract with RPS, CRC, Burns and Wilcox all day, every day. Those three, that's they do it in spades, personal and commercial. They happen to be three of our larger partners within the E&S space. But if I'm going to work with a wholesale, that's essentially the wholesale operation.
Yeah, but those guys aren't going to help close the business.
No, but they'll quote it for you. But that's my point. If you want a mentor that's going to help you be successful long term, you go through a model like us. If you want somebody just to quote it to say, hey, I quoted it for you, then you go through a competing MGA.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why we're not built to have long term business within our AccessPlus, because take right now the team 2 days a week, they're out in the field.
Yep.
And
placing business with agents.
In their office.
Yep.
Teaching it.
Yeah. No, I think that, and I think we especially see this sometimes in captive agents coming over, and I've seen it with tons of different people, and any business owner is there's a certain value add when you're going to get a call back or somebody's going to pick up the phone and walk through something with you. And it may not be that they always have 100% of the answers, but we're there to figure it out along the way, and we're there as a sounding board. And that's a big deal, because when you go independent and you're completely on your own navigating all these new carriers, you want to go so broad. And I think our team does a really good job of helping reel people back in and say, hey, look, these are some of the core contracts you're going to want, you're going to need. Let's figure out how to write with these guys, right? Let's build a strategy. And that's important.
I didn't look at the script. I will say one of the other aspects that I don't think this was contemplated was the fact that our utilization of carrier service center agreements.
Mhm.
So we'll use our carrier partner.
Before you go, explain what that is, because some people may not even know what that is.
So when I'm working with an entrepreneur and a business owner that needs to service their customers under a traditional MGA, they're wanting to maintain as much of that commission, and so they actually do not give up portions of that to work with their carrier partners that come in. So whereas with us, they have a service center agreement, so that way the individual entrepreneur can reach out to the carrier directly and say, hey, I'm having this issue on this claim with my insured. I need to be able to service it. Through us, you can. And it does, if your customer calls in at 12 o'clock at midnight, they still have service. If they call in on a Saturday or a Sunday, they have somebody they can reach out. Now, ideally, as the entrepreneur, you want your insured calling you directly, wholeheartedly, 100% support that. At the same time, I want to be able to, I'm not going to lose a customer over that. So if they need to start a claim process, then I will have them reach out to the carrier. So our contracts work hand in hand, and this is another shout out to us. We have pre-negotiated those rates further down than what anybody else has. And so it is a benefit for us to be able to utilize that.
And that's definitely one that's probably not utilized enough.
Yeah.
Even within our current members, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because and as again, entrepreneur, you have that choice to be able to choose: do I want this code to be in a service center contract, or do I want it to be direct, where I don't utilize their service center? I fundamentally, through our MGA, I'm going to utilize a service center unless the customer or the entrepreneur says, "Hey, I don't want this to go through that," just because it's almost the omnichannel. I don't want to create a situation where the customer can't get served.
Yeah. Well, it's taking one layer out of the equation.
Yeah.
So that way everybody can just go direct, make it easier.
Cool.
Now, I will say, as an individual agency owner, this is a tangent, and I'll shut up after this. But when you're paying $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in service center fee contracts associated with your carrier partners, that's when you really want to look at, should I hire a CSR specifically to handle this and bring that in-house?
So to put it in context, if you're paying $70,000 a year in service center fees,
Evaluate.
how much revenue are you generating?
Oh, you're north of $1 million. To be honest, yeah, you're doing quite well.
So, and the reason why we asked that, right? Because let's put this in context. Somebody hears, oh my goodness,
that's total agency revenue.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I'm making $70,000 a year in service center fees. Well, if I'm making $1 million in revenue, I can afford A, that in service center fees, or B, I can
bring
afford
it in-house.
Bring it in-house and have my.
And the reason is because the culture that you're building, depending on what model you're building, the company, everything else, a person that's in-house that handles the customers as close to you do, is going to be, in my opinion, a lot more fruitful than that of a third party or somebody outside of your company.
It's I think that the service centers are phenomenal resources, especially for newer agencies, but it's also, it's a supplement, right? It doesn't completely, like that $1 million in revenue generating shop, it doesn't completely omit the service person necessarily, but I think as you're growing, it can, because sometimes you have agencies that are $1 million or $2 million in premium, and they've got that service center person, and they are still going to have a cost associated, right? Especially for quality, and they're really not able to afford that at the same level.
No,
right?
And
so
it does tie
scale.
And it does tie the carrier closer to you as the agency owner.
Because they also have to track, right, when they're sending stuff back to you or not, versus if you don't have a service center, they're maybe not tracking what they're sending back to you that's getting called in.
Or you say, hey, look, I utilize your service center, so the fact that I'm not producing X percent or not retaining X percent, I need help. It creates that conversation, whereas if it's all on you, it's all on you.
So that's when you can really say, it's not me, it's you.
You can't break up at me. That's not it. Yeah.
It's not me.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, I think that goes back to something else that we really try to do in our AccessPlus model with our growth coaches and everything, but especially AccessPlus, is we're trying to, and we work toward agency development, not agency dependency.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of groups where they're creating agents that are completely dependent on them, right? They're dependent on them for codes, access, and then as they grow, they really don't have the staff or the team or the resources to bring any type of white glove service or any type of help with new agents that are writing. They're just trying to exist and maintain the current base of agents, right? And I think for us, we really tried to focus, especially when agents are coming in at the beginning, on how do we develop you so that there's not a dependency on us, but there's an ability to continue to build, right? To give a man a fish, you feed him once. Teach a man to fish, he can feed himself forever.
You feed him for life.
Thank you, for life.
You can also use the modern. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink.
Yeah, the fish thing. Yeah, no, they're both good. They're good analogies. But the point is we're creating sustainability, right? That's what
We're
doing.
fishing.
We're fishing. Dang it. Oh, it's fish season. Yeah. Well,
I think it actually is.
I think it is. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just sitting here holding the shovel.
I will say, we'll just bring this back and we'll talk about captives. But Chris might have coined a new word for us already. This podcast, captive brethren.
Our captain brethren.
Our captain brethren.
It's 2 words. That's not. Yeah, they're in the
I know, but
insurance
it's
space.
so good. I love it. I'm using that forever now. Our captive brethren. So, also to our captive brethren, I think this is a huge piece because when you are in the captive environment, to your point, Chad, you learn one carrier. So you're indoctrinated into this is how you sell this product. This is what you do. You can open up to the independent space. You're a kid in a candy store, but it's you want all the codes, but can you maintain them all at once? And going back to how this matters in AccessPlus is you can have that runway to start quoting with all these carriers, see where your client mix is fitting, strategically work on a direct appointment plan with your growth coach where you can start getting those codes when it makes sense for the business.
And that's key, right? Because everybody says, I want to do personal lines. All right, great.
I want to write everything.
Yeah, but what's your demographic look like?
Yeah.
Right?
Where are you truly writing? Yeah.
And that demo's geography. No, I can't speak things.
Yeah,
we're all just it's in the water today.
It's geography, it's income, it's everything. So it's finding that right carrier that's going to align with that niche that you're trying to develop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we have that conversation a lot around the high net worth space, right? Is like, what's your definition of that in 2025, especially in the Texas market, as we've seen home prices and home values rise so much over the past few years. That doesn't inherently mean we're going ultra preferred high net worth with this, right? If it's $1 million home, which is pretty standard across a lot of
now
DFW now, yeah.
I mean, everything took a 100% increase. I mean,
Right.
what was $200,000 now $400,000 and everything in between.
So you see a lot of people like, well, this is the market we're in. Well, actually, our true high net worth carriers are looking for 3 to 5 and above. So really, that's still a phenomenal pool to play in, but these are really the carriers you're going to do the most with versus these. And so if they would have just gone out and tried to get that direct appointment, which they wouldn't have gotten anyways without, a track record, that's not going to serve the clientele properly. You may walk in.
Yeah. No, I think that's what a lot of independent agents and I think a lot of agents, period, fail to understand, especially when they have the mentality, I want to write everything. Well, okay, how are you going to service that type of clientele? Because a $5 million clientele is very different from a $1 million clientele. Mm-hmm. The needs analysis that is for that particular customer is going to be very different. We talk about some of the high net worths. You got jewelry, you got art and inclusions that are already there. They're standard, which means you have to have a knowledge base within that. And if you don't, I'll simplify it with Haggerty Insurance. Love classic cars. The Haggerty was cool because what was unique about them is if you wanted to work at their company and service flathead V8s or straight 6s, they actually had you go into the shop and rebuild a flathead V8 and a V6. Or not V6, sorry, straight 6. And so their knowledge level to be able to service that customer becomes exponentially more appropriate than just, I'll write everything. It's no, I know what I'm doing. Let me serve you.
I wonder what their
they still
parking
do
lot looks like all the time. Like, do you just have,
Cool.
yeah, like, do you walk up? It's like a car show every day because everybody's
And
driving.
then they
these great
change out.
classic
I think they
cars.
change out in their home office. They change out the show vehicles. But then
Gotta be like a
McKeel
requirement,
has his
right?
own garage, which you can rent out those vehicles and drive them, which is a whole
That's
other.
awesome. Do they still do that training though?
Oh, I think they do. It just depends with their home office because they've obviously gotten much larger.
Yeah.
Or they, if I'm not mistaken, they have so many shop guys in there that have that knowledge, and so they'll say, "Hey, if you want to do this, you need to talk to so and so," and then they coach them.
I see a new way for our AccessPlus team to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have
Going to
mechanic
shops.
shops. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Well, actually, and I'll brag a little bit about Liberty and their claims facility.
Oh, that's a phenomenal tour.
So amazing.
We took a group a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That was eye
So
opening.
you want to see how they rate for hail, how they look for a fire loss, the auto shop corrections.
The auto shop one.
We actually got
blew my
we got
mind.
to meld plastic bumpers
Yes,
together and show you the
yes.
difference. Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, but they went through the
plastic
reconstruction
one's awesome.
cost on just the bumper with the sensors in it, and how they'll total a car on that. I mean, it was just eye opening with all the
Just for
technology
our
these
listeners
days.
to visualize it, they have like 8 rooftops inside this in-house shop where they throw things at it. They can tell the difference between a roofer who's putting in fake hail claims versus actual hail. And they even test that with hammers and everything else. And then the other half is the auto shop where they show bumpers, and they have like 5 cars that are one's a total loss, one that is serviceable, and then they let you to actually do the repairs. Which I'm a big mechanic nerd, so I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And I got to plastic weld some holes and bumpers, and it's actually not as hard as I thought it was. So I just don't have the $5,000 equipment to do so, but I can. I now know how.
There you
Chris
go.
is in the Liberty claim center every weekend, right? Putting bumpers
Having
together.
fun. Let me cook.
All right, so going full circle, back to the MGA piece.
Back to the MGA.
So I actually do have one question that probably comes up sometimes. I'm an established agency.
Mhm.
Say I've got $600,000 in revenue. I know what I'm doing. I don't need your MGA.
Great.
Yes, you do.
Oh. All right, sounds good to me. Keep going. Like, what do you? I'm here to support you.
Two
What do
different
you-
responses. I love that. You couldn't have made that any better.
All right, so Chris, obviously your answer is obvious. You go do you, boo, right?
You let me know when you need help. Otherwise, I keep going. Like I don't.
That's true. That's
All right.
true. There are use cases. There
are use cases, but I'm not going to stop an entrepreneur from being an entrepreneur.
100%. And that's the way that I like to talk through this with agencies is for newer agencies, you have a period where you're really AccessPlus heavy. And especially as the market is opening up, this should be a period where you're ramping honestly over 6 months, because a lot of our agents, I mean, we have an agent that joined a couple months ago. He's on code number 5 or 6 direct appointments because he's already booked hundreds of thousands of dollars in premium in AccessPlus. And so we've been able to advocate for him right away to get out of there. Now, is he going to use that forever? No, it's a true ramp. There may be some codes where it's like, hey, don't worry about this one today because it's not your number one. But for that $600,000 revenue generating shop, I don't think that this is true for everybody, but there are specified use cases. So for instance, we have somebody that we're working with, and they lost a pretty big contract with a pretty large personal lines carrier, which has happened more frequently, I think, than usual over the past couple of years with the hard
especially
market.
last. Yeah.
Because with profitability, with metrics, with property capacity being so far reduced, they were cutting everywhere they could. Well, we've just had more conversations with carriers over this past week, and everybody wants growth now, right? And so one of the advantages that we have in our partnership is they can come back to the table and they don't lose access to the carrier because they can still write through us. And the other thing is they get potentially a second shot because they can rebuild an AccessPlus. And if that carrier ever comes back to the table and wants growth, like in our current market where a lot of carriers really want growth, if we have that evidentiary support built into AccessPlus to say, hey, talk to them again. Like, You know we
So-
do a good job with these guys.
Yeah.
Look back.
So in my defense, he said that doesn't.
I
want
know.
to-
I know.
So
That's
feel
why I
like-
said
But-
specific
But
use
now
case.
that you got me thinking, I do have an example.
But and here's the thing, right? Because I think any shop that comes in that's that size, they're say, I don't want to write through an MGA.
Okay.
I don't think any of them.
Fair.
I don't think any of them are technically going to want it.
Right.
But there is going to be cases where it could be beneficial.
Well, so I'll give you a case because you got me thinking. I had a member agent that reached out and said, "Hey, do you know of another agency in this part of the country that can write this type of risk?" And he was just going to give it to him. And my question back to him was like, "Why wouldn't you just write it?"
Right.
Well, I don't have a license in there. Well, that's where our MGA. If I have a license in that state, I'm like, well, I'd rather you keep it. It's your account. It's your relationship. You should keep that. And then you do the evaluation of, okay, if I was to get my out-of-state license, does it make sense for me to do it through that? Or should I just put it in AccessPlus so I know the customer is being taken care of. I can still service them. I can still take care of that client. And then the real question is, and you can ask this to your customer, you said, do you want to have a local agent or do you want me to still represent you?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, that is a case use right there that I don't think we have ever really contemplated as advocating for that out of state, where somebody's not licensed.
Yeah.
Still that opportunity to take care of your customer and give them a broader choice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the strengths of the MGA is it's licensed in multiple states, whereas you as the independent may not be there yet. I think our default metric is, well, why not you?
Yeah,
that's really our default in the MGA is why not you? Why can't you do this? Why can't you own this contract? Why can't you own this relationship?
All right, so we've had some success on the last couple member spotlights. And we're going to try it with specifically you, Chris.
No.
Me.
I actually, since I'm going to truly step back and I'm going to play host today. And I'm going to say the questions are for y'all. I get to skip.
Oh no, it's not. This is a Chadism. This is the Chad.
No. So there are some rapid fires.
Oh, we're doing rapid fires. Okay.
But I might throw in a couple.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Let's do.
A couple random
This was
ones.
priceless with Hightower.
What is your favorite color? Sorry. I had to sneak that in for our producer. If anybody knows the reference, message me.
Yeah. Tell you what, $100 gift card for the first right response in the comments to this. Do it again, Chris.
What is your favorite color?
Okay, we're gonna post that $100 gift card. Okay.
Yeah, for the
The
first.
stakes have been upped.
Right.
I didn't know it.
You
I can't.
do it. You can't do it.
I didn't know it anyways. So.
Yeah, you did.
To be fair.
All right. So rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind, what's the one thing carriers consistency look for in agency production?
Flow. Consistent flow. They want flow. It's part of that is the new technology and the amount of data that's being transferred. They need to see where they're winning, where they're not, and they need that response. And that's how they partner with agencies. It's not just, hey, I want to write business. It's like I need to see where we're winning, where we're not.
You need enough to spread out to actually get enough.
1Z, 2Z isn't going to do it.
Yeah, and everybody has spread out saturation. They don't want to be too saturated in our market, so they need it across quite a bit. Generally.
All right. What line of business helps agencies gain credibility the fastest?
Pet insurance. I'm just kidding.
If you can sell it, that gives me.
Actually, if you blew it up with pet insurance on personal lines, I bet they I'm joking because we've had quite a few carriers come in the past couple weeks and be like, "So pet insurance."
Well, it's because it's a profitable line.
Yeah.
That is a tough. I'm going to lean towards commercial insurance. I think if you're
that's too broad.
I know. I will tell you, everybody wants workers' comp, but everybody knows that because it's the most profitable line. And why we're the only state that doesn't require that, I have for the amount of money Like this is okay. This is for everybody out there. Buy workers' comp. Like I don't understand why you don't.
As cheap as it
It's
is.
cheap and
as
it
much
saves
as
you
much
for so
protection
much.
Right. Yes.
Anyway.
Coming from a previous California,
Alright, so-
buy the workers' comp.
Buy
Workers' comp is a good one in commercial. I mean, that's a lot of instant credibility because you're driving directly to what the carriers want. Everybody wants a vanilla risk though in commercial and a bunch of it. But it's really dependent on, are we talking personal lines? Are we talking commercial? Are we talking
Just credibility within. All right.
Personal lines,
D&O insurance, cyber insurance, having knowledge. But see, like I can offer it, but having knowledge in it is different.
All right. So let's switch it up. What's the one thing that if you were to really blow up in this area, it would give you instant credibility and access to pretty much any other line that you wanted?
I'd say bond.
Bond, really?
Yeah. Because it requires the mental fortitude to be able to navigate those, which is not an everyday agent has.
I mean, you're working with good-sized businesses,
Yeah.
up to 30% commission. So if you're writing bond and surety, you don't really care as much about it.
I mean, I'm just saying it. Every contractor, everybody out there has to have it,
Yeah.
and they don't understand how important it is. And if you know how to navigate that, my brain's going back to Orville, who in our office has that expertise, and it's becoming more and more of a rarefied air for those that know how to do that. It's almost like being able to do the health tables from memory. Like it's that.
So if you can blow it up there with good profitable work, then you can pretty much
What
get
commercial contract do you want?
and you got it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Solid on commercial.
All right. More important, premium volume or underwriting quality?
Well, it's both, but I want to argue. I would argue underwriting quality always. However, there are some competitors of ours that are playing the loss ratio game where they're outrunning their loss ratio with sheer quantity. So they burn marketplaces and they move to the next one and try to put on as much as new business as they can to outrun their loss ratio. And I don't like that game.
All right. So what's more important?
To me, quality.
Underwriting quality for the individual standard mom and pop. Underwriting quality feeds better carrier partnerships and better
Longevity.
long-term book
All
of
right.
business that's profitable. And would you rather make more money on
Here-
a
here-
$3 million in premium book or on an unprofitable $5
Are you
million in
building?
premium book?
Do you want your kids to take over this and have a legacy agency,
See,
or
we're
do
getting
you?
way too deep. This
Okay,
was
Quality.
this was
Quality.
rapid fire.
It still
Alright.
doesn't mitigate the need for volume. Though.
Correct. All right. Panda or grizzly?
Grizzly.
No. Have y'all not seen all
cute.
the panda memes?
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're awesome. Plus, I think they're like the most underrated silent killers in the world. Anything that cute that could rip your face off is a dead stone killer in my book.
I'm just thinking of that one Western movie
Fair.
where the guy who was it that
Kung Fu Panda?
no, it's the Grizzly. The Grizzly tears the guy apart.
Kung Fu Panda.
That's not the West. That is a West. That's technically a Western movie, I think.
It's Eastern.
No, not Cocaine Bear. That's a northern. No, it was. It's an old
the rabbit
Western, and the guy. Who is it? It's
Grizzly Adams.
No, not Grizzly. It's the guy that does the meme with champagne.
Oh.
Not Matt Damon. It's
No, DiCaprio.
yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio when he gets torn apart by the grizzly.
Oh, in that
That was such
I
a
know what you're
graphic
talking
scene.
about. Yeah. He's like
Alright, I'm
lone
clueless.
something up in
You haven't seen it?
Alaska.
Lone Wolf McQuaid?
I know this is a newer one.
The Revenant.
The
The
Revenant.
Revenant, yeah.
Oh, that is
Ooh.
very graphic.
Okay.
So
That's why I think Grizzly over because I'm just like I would not want to.
No. Pandas, they're kind of like.
But what's the
they're-
context?
They're like mean people. They're to lull you in because they're so cute and cuddly, then they rip your face off.
What? Who are you hanging out with? That's what I want to know. All right, next
All right.
question.
What's one habit every growing agency should develop early?
See, now you're talking Panda. What's one habit every agency?
build out the SOP right away.
Define what SOP is for our
Standard.
listeners.
Operating procedures.
Yes.
Once you get one, once you
Core
build
processes.
one, put it in place. Don't keep it in your head. Keep building it.
Yeah.
Keep growing it. Keep editing it.
I would say, oh, man, that is a big question. I like the SOP one. I would constantly look to reimagine the future of your agency, especially right now with what technology is coming in. We talked about with AI and everything. Those that don't use AI will be replaced with those that currently interact with it. That's why I'm thinking you have to have a bit of a creativity,
like a constant learning.
mentality.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would, if you can put that in your culture, if you can put that in your org as a whole, that is a must.
Biggest misconception agencies have about MGAs.
I can write anything and everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually really
Just
good.
because you can doesn't mean you should.
If all of my business is with an MGA, it's still my business.
There's so many listeners now. It's like, wait, what?
I own it. I own it. It's with it's with 5 MGAs. Okay.
All right. And then the final one word to describe today's insurance market.
One word.
One word.
I think Jessica just said it.
Oof. I would say softening, but I don't like that word, so I'd say opening.
I'll throw one out. Opportunistic.
Opportunistic, yeah.
But because think about with everything coming in with people trying to make acquisitions out there, people wanting to leave, the market opening up, opportunities are out there
1,000%.
in several different ways, several different varieties.
Well, and I will say this is kind of fun because we meet on the regular with a bunch of carriers, and you can tell which carriers are opportunistic and which ones are pessimistic because they're like, oh, AI, and you just see the dread on their face, and then we're just like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like the amount of ingenuity and everything that's coming into our space is massively insane, and it's awesome. And we're going to ride that wave, and we're going to have fun doing it. And so I'm looking forward to the next 5-10 years.
There you go.
Even some of our clients are sitting there freaking out. I'm like, why? This is greatness. You remember how much time and effort this took? Now we can do it in seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, well, it's going to replace us. It ain't replacing us.
No.
If anything, it's going to enhance us.
It changes the way we work.
Hopefully.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would say evolving.
Evolving. I
Yeah.
like that.
For all those reasons. I
Right.
think some of it's good, some of it's scary, some of it's something to watch.
All right. So opportunistic, evolving.
Softening.
Oof. Yeah, we can tell which one of us is more conservative than the others. I don't know. I like it. This is that we needed this for so long, so I'm super excited.
All right. Chris Likey.
I like you this. I
That's the word.
like you change.
All right. So, well, thank you all so much for today. And as always, we have to close with our book quote, music, something.
Music. Oh, you're adding a new layer
element.
into that.
Yes.
You know, I want to say the last 2 podcasts when you weren't here, Chris, Chad threw us curveballs and was like, what did you make us do? Certain quotes, certain type of quote from a movie or something. And I was like,
favorite movie quotes.
a book. What are you doing to me? So he's not really making this hard for you today.
What did DiCaprio say when the bear was attacking him?
No, Oh man, I honestly, so I did not. My brain, no worky, unquote e.
Stop. We're good. With that, thank you so much for tuning in. We could not have finished on a better note than that. So, to everybody out there, appreciate you. Smash that like button, subscribe, and until next time, onward and upward.